Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing another reaction video. I know you guys love these videos, and honestly, I love to make them, so I'll just keep them coming. I'm actually going to be reacting to somebody that I've never reacted to before, which is surprising because of the amount of transphobic content that they create. I'm going to be reacting to a YouTuber named Arielle Scarcella. She posted a video on non-binary people and how it's sexist and confusing. Girl, if you're confused, like, I can help. There are plenty of non-binary creators on YouTube that would love to help you out. But to be honest, I'm not really sure she's actually down to learn. I think she's just, you know, trying to make that coin. I post new videos here on my channel twice a week, so if you guys have not yet subscribed and you would like to, go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead. I'll wait for you. Are you done? Thank you very much. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to keep us up to date with me as possible. And also, I have a Patreon. So if you guys would like to donate to this channel, the link for that is down below as well. But yeah, with no further ado, let's get right into today's video. So if you guys don't know who Arielle Scarcella is, she is a lesbian YouTuber who for a long time made very interesting content. Her biggest videos and the videos that kind of made her more popular are all videos about sex. I say this like it's so taboo, but her videos are about like lesbian sex, like how to, you know, be with lesbians, stuff like that. She's transitioned into more of a trans-centered content. Honestly, like every third video that she posts is something about trans people and how they're taking away women's rights and lesbians are all leaving her. Girl, I can see why, first of all, but the video that I'm going to be reacting to today is titled "Non-Binary is Confusing at Best and Sexist at Worst." Now that's a big claim to make. We're going to claim that an identity is sexist. So, I mean, I'm excited to show you guys. I mean, not really, but anyways, before we start reacting to this video, I just want to quickly just, you know, go over what non-binary means. Just so you guys know, I am not non-binary. I am a binary trans woman, but I still think it's super, super important that we stand up for our non-binary friends, our non-binary family, all that kind of stuff. However, that being said, this is going to be coming from my perspective as a binary trans person. So if you guys want to get perspectives from actual non-binary people, I'm going to link a few people down below. They have awesome videos actually reacting to this specific video as well. So yeah, so being non-binary is a type of trans identity that does not conform or does not identify with either of the binaries. For me, I was born on one end of the gender binary, of the sex binary, as male, but I felt much more comfortable on the other end of the spectrum at the other binary as a woman or as a female. For non-binary people, they feel most comfortable in the middle somewhere, or, you know, on whatever plane. It doesn't have to be a spectrum. It can be like a multi-dimensional plane, however you envision yourself. Really, it doesn't really matter. But the main takeaway of a non-binary identity is that they don't identify with being a binary male, being a binary man, or being a binary female or a binary woman. They exist somewhere in between, somewhere, you know, outside the binary, wherever. Again, that's just my interpretation of what non-binary means. Of course, it means different things for everybody. It's literally just, it's like an umbrella term. I do encourage you to go check out some of their non-binary creators and, you know, hear it from them. But anyways, let's get into this video. It's brutal, girl. It's brutal.
I don't think that anyone in the non-binary community even can fully explain what non-binary is. It seems like it's this made-up term that anybody can use for whatever reason they want.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it already. First claim of the video is that non-binary isn't defined. It's this made-up thing that not even non-binary people can define. I talked about this a little bit in my video about the video that the transphobe made. The prefix non is not creating a new word. It's not creating a new definition. It's not creating anything like that. It's just indicating that that is not something that you are. So when we think about non-binary, it's just you are not binary. So when she says that non-binary hasn't been defined and it's not precisely defined, that's kind of the whole point. If you go any further than that, it's purely up to interpretation because, again, it's not creating a new category, like a new binary, like being a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing that really bothers me about that claim is she goes on to say that, like, oh, not even non-binary people can explain what non-binary means. Girl, like, Google it. There are plenty of people that talk about what their identity means, how they experience being non-binary. That's just not true.
I think that non-binary is actually a new woke way of saying androgynous, just like wielding a sword of wokeness over the new term. For validation purposes, for pronouns, for control.
Literally 50 seconds into this video, she's claiming that being non-binary or identifying as non-binary is a way to control people. Oh my God. She says that it's a new woke term meaning the same thing as androgynous. First of all, that's just not accurate. And it's just like so frustrating to me because she's diminishing an identity to how you dress yourself. And something that Luxander, a non-binary creator, actually said in their video about this specific Arielle Scarcella video is that non-binary people are non-binary no matter how they look. They can look like a typical cis woman, a typical cis man, and still be non-binary. They can conform to gender stereotypes and all that kind of stuff and still be non-binary. It's a matter of identification, not the way you express yourself. But then she takes it a step further and says that being non-binary is a way to control people. And this is something that I see a lot in the gender critical movement, or just like, from transphobic talking heads. They love to paint us as over-controlling, overbearing, and just like, they're trying to make us change our language. They're trying to erase what it means to be a woman, which is not at all the case.
No one has really been able to come up with a concise definition for the term non-binary.
Non-binary is literally just saying that you are not binary. After that, like whatever interpretation that means to you, wherever you fall on the gender spectrum, wherever you fall on the gender plane, that's completely up to you. So that's why people's interpretation of being non-binary is so different, because it means something different to everybody.
Secondly, most of the people I know or that I have seen that identify as non-binary are A, very, very young, and B, tend to seem like they are doing it for a very, very political reason, almost like a fuck you to the patriarchy.
First of all, this is purely anecdotal. She literally just says, straight out, like, from what I've noticed, like, girl, I don't care what you've noticed. Maybe if you took a second to step out of your gender critical movement and maybe like follow some actual non-binary people, like listen to what non-binary people are saying, then you would know that that is not the fucking case. She goes on to say that being non-binary is purely political, and even includes a clip of a non-binary person defending themselves and saying like, listen, I am who I am and I deserve respect for that, which is perfectly valid. Everybody deserves respect and everybody deserves to be recognized for who they are. Imagine if somebody said that being a lesbian was purely political and just erased all the struggles that you had to deal with, all of the actual internal feelings and, everything that goes into being a lesbian. Like, it's not just a political thing, it's who you are. The same is true for being non-binary. It's just who you are. It's not a fuck you to anybody. Demanding respect for being who you are is something that a lot of LGBT people face. People like you, Arielle Scarcella, lesbians that have come before you have demanded respect and earned that respect for you now. Demanding respect and that fight for respect does not take away from your identity or does not make your identity any less valid. It simply means that they're less accepted and that they have to work harder to be who they are and be accepted by society. And you are not doing them any favors. The title of your video is "Non-binary is confusing, blah, blah, blah." Figure it out. That's not our problem. You don't have to make a video on your YouTube channel calling them sexist for being who they are. I'm getting heated. It just makes me so mad when people make videos like this because they don't understand something. I don't understand plenty of things. I don't understand trigonometry, and I'm not making videos about how it's sexist and, fucking discriminatory against people that don't understand it. Like, girl, come on.
Which is funny because you're actually telling people and telling the world that you are taking yourself out of a box by putting yourself in another box. She
just had to include a little, like, what's funny? Again, maybe she doesn't understand like how words work or something, but like, that's fine if you don't understand. Like, I can explain it to you if you really want. I have to say it again because she just doesn't get it. The prefix non is not creating a new category, a new word, a new anything. It's just saying that they are not binary. And these binaries already exist. We're not creating a new binary or a new something like that. We're just saying, oh, I don't identify as either of these existing binaries. Period.
Is there a difference between somebody that is actually non-binary and transsexual people? So transsexual meaning people that are born one sex and transitioning, even though you can't technically transition to another sex, but visually secondary sex characteristics, trying to appear as the sex they feel more comfortable as.
Okay, first of all, you 100% can transition to the opposite sex. Like, hi bitch. I don't know if it was a legitimate question or if she's just like trying to be funny or just like trying to like make a funny point and being like, ha, gotcha. She's like, is being non-binary different than being a transsexual, as she refers to us? Short answer, like, yes, they're different. One is binary, one is not, but they're both transgender. They both may or may not experience gender dysphoria. They both may or may not go on hormones. They both may or may not have surgeries. Does that answer your question?
Non-binary simply means just the way that somebody feels or acts. Isn't everybody inherently non-binary? Like everybody has more masculine and feminine traits somewhere in their head or their body or whatever.
This one's kind of funny. She's like, well, then isn't everybody non-binary if it's just about masculine and feminine traits? Because like, everybody has a little bit of masculine and feminine in them. It's not about masculine or feminine traits at all. It's about how you identify, what makes you the most comfortable. That's not the same thing, sweetie. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay, continue.
Because obviously we already know that sex is binary, sex meaning gametes.
I'm just gonna pause real quick. We're not even gonna talk about it. Sex is not binary. There are so many academic studies and like legitimate like scientific proof that sex is not binary. And she just is like, well, obviously sex is binary, like gametes, duh.
what does non-binary mean if it is a physical thing to some of these people? Like, does that mean having partial gender dysphoria, like only having dysphoria on part of your body? And if that was the case, I could get behind that because it is scientifically backed, and it would make sense to me that if somebody came to me and told me, listen, I'm non-binary, I feel if I was fully male, meaning like flat chest, testosterone-driven body, producing sperm, having a penis, I wouldn't feel comfortable, and I don't feel comfortable fully as a female either.
Well, does that mean they have partial gender dysphoria? Like maybe they just like hate one breast and like not the other? Like, is that what that means? And she's like, well, if they experience gender dysphoria, then I guess they're valid. Like, why? I hate this whole transmedicalist standpoint. I got a video coming out on transmedicalism soon, don't worry, but some non-binary people, just like transsexual people, transsexual people, some of them experience gender dysphoria, some of them don't. Period. But my whole issue with these medicalists and all these kind of things is like, why are people's identities only valid through the existence of pain? Like, I totally understand that most trans people do experience gender dysphoria because it is very distressing having your internal sense of gender and your body not align. But if somebody can figure it out without feeling distress, why are you gonna penalize them for that?
As far as the law goes, I think that would be very tricky. I think it's becoming increasingly difficult to figure out how to treat non-binary people in the world because a lot of things are sex segregated or gender segregated.
Okay, and not my problem. She goes on, she's like, it's incredibly difficult because of like, there's only boys' bathrooms and girls' bathrooms. So what are we supposed to do with non-binary people? Like, we know it's an issue. That's why we're like promoting gender neutral bathrooms and stuff like that.
As I just said, I think if it is physically and biologically and gender dysphoria based, I can get behind the idea of non-binary, but if it is just something as simple as not fitting gender stereotypes, I actually think that is an incredibly sexist idea.
There it is. There's the money spot, the sexist. She had to throw it in there. Notice how it was so click. She didn't back it up at all. She's like, if it's just to do with this, then it's sexist. Cuts to the next clip. Do you really think it's sexist, or is that just like your buzzword? Is that your word for clicks? If you just take the time to get to know some non-binary people, or even just talk to somebody that's educated on these identities, you would realize that it's not about stereotypes, that it's not about how you dress. It is so much deeper than that. You said it yourself, everybody has masculine and feminine traits, so if it was purely about traits or purely about how you wanted to dress, then we wouldn't be seeing people dealing with all the hardships that non-binary people face. I love how these gender critical people throw around the words sexist and misogynistic like all the time. Literally every video, every tweet that I see from them is like, well, you're sexist then. You're a sexist. Girl, calm down. Calm down. Not trying to laugh at sexism. I'm really not. Like, sexism is real, misogyny is real. But sweetie, that's not what this is. No non-binary person is saying that you can't dress like a stereotypical woman as you would describe it. Nobody is saying that cisgender women have to conform to those stereotypes. They're just not.
One of the most important questions I have currently regarding non-binary is, why does being non-binary mean the erasure of female characteristics? Let me explain.
I'm gonna let you explain, sweetie, don't worry. That's their only point, is that trans people are hurting women. It started with the bathroom thing, how trans women were predators going into the women to hurt women. And then they started talking about how trans women were attacking women in women's sports and hurting women's careers. Neither of those things are backed up by any sort of data. But now she's trying to talk about how the existence of non-binary people, literally just being themselves, means the erasure of women's body parts, or it means the erasure of women's sex characteristics.
Almost every single female-born person that calls themselves non-binary.
Already like this phrasing, like you can just tell that she's like, so you call yourself non-binary? Oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't call themselves non-binary, they are non-binary. Oh, you call yourself a lesbian? You choose to like women? Oh, that's literally what she's saying.
Either goes on HRT, testosterone, or at least gets a double mastectomy, top surgery. When people who are born male identify as non-binary, usually only just change their gender expression.
This is the stupidest argument I've ever heard. I'm just gonna say it. So she's saying that why do only non-binary people that were assigned female at birth choose to have surgery and go on hormones and all that kind of stuff, but people that are born male just get to, wear makeup and just wear dresses? Again, this is purely anecdotal. There's no data, no evidence to back this up. This is literally just like, she's like, well, in my opinion, what I've noticed on my Twitter, on my gender critical Twitter timeline, is that it's only women cutting off their, oh, did I say women? I mean, people assigned women that are non-binary. I can't do this. Let's just live in this girl's fantasy world for a hot minute and say that there is data that proves that it is only people that are assigned female at birth that are getting surgeries and hormones that are non-binary. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, just maybe, it's because of all these standards and expectations that are put onto female-bodied people. And also there's the financial aspect to it. So a lot of trans masked non-binary people, they have their top surgery covered by insurance. But for non-binary trans feminine people, top surgery is often considered cosmetic and not covered by insurance. So if you are noticing these things, which may or may not even be accurate, maybe that's why. Maybe they can't afford it.
Is the presence of breasts much more obvious as a gender marker than the absence of them?
Yes, girl, yes. A flat chest is not a sex characteristic. Breasts, that is a sex characteristic. Ugh, girl, I don't even know what else to say. A flat chest is not a sex characteristic. It's just not.
Older generations, trans men adopted a variety of masculine looks that fit their personality and often worked to reach an ideal masculine physique. Is anti-female now equal to teenage boy? I think he makes a really good point.
He does not make a really good point, first of all. But it's basically saying that trans men used to, want to look like a cis man and, feel comfortable in their male. I don't even fucking know what she's trying to say, but it's just irrelevant because we're not even talking about trans men right now. We're talking about non-binary people. Like, did she forget? Anyways, you guys, that is the end of that video. Thank the Lord. If you're non-binary, I love you. You are valid. You are not misogynistic or sexist. You are not confusing. And I love you. Anyways, you guys, if you like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. Make sure to subscribe if you are not already and you would like to be. Comment down below, say hi, say that you love your non-binary friends, show some love, whatever you want to do. And yeah, other than that, I think I'm going to go. So thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in Thursday's video. Bye guys.